Very well. He looked at the men sitting in chairs along the far wall behind me and nodded. Then we will commence. Tristan St. Anthony, step forward. There was a squeak as a body rose from a chair, and quiet footsteps clicked across the floor as my former partner came to stand a few feet from my side. I didn't look at him. I stared straight ahead, hands behind my back, as he did the same. But I could see him in my peripheral vision. A tall, lean soldier several years older than me, his dark hair cropped close. His perpetual smirk had been replaced with a grim line, and his blue eyes were solemn as he faced the table. Please inform the court, to the best of your ability, of the events that led up to the night of the raid, and what conspired after. Tristan hesitated. I wondered what was going through his head in the split second before he would give his testimony. If he had any regrets that it had come to this. This summer, Tristan began, his voice matter-of-fact. Sebastian and I were sent undercover to Crescent Beach, a small town on the California coast. Our orders were specific. We were to infiltrate the town, find a sleeper planted among the population, and terminate it. The man in the center raised a hand. So, to be clear, Talon had planted one of their operatives in Crescent Beach, and you were sent to find it. Yes, sir. Tristan gave a short nod. We were there to kill a dragon. A murmur went through the room. From the very first day the Order had been founded, soldiers of St. George had known what we fought for, what we protected, what was at stake. Our war, our holy mission, hadn't changed in hundreds of years. The Order had evolved with the times. Firearms and technology had replaced swords and lances, but our purpose was still the same. We had one goal, and every soldier dedicated his entire life to that cause. The complete annihilation of our eternal enemies. The dragons. The general public knew nothing of our ancient war. The existence of dragons was a jealously guarded secret on both sides. There were no real dragons in the world today, unless you counted a couple mundane lizard species that were pale shadows of their infamous namesakes. True dragons, the massive, winged, fire-breathing creatures that haunted the mythology of every culture around the world, from the treasure-loving monsters of Europe to the benevolent rain-bringers of the Orient, existed only in legend and story. And that was exactly what they wanted you to believe. Just as the Order of St. George had evolved through the years, so had our enemies. According to St. George doctrine, when dragons were on the verge of extinction, they'd made a pact with the devil to preserve their race, gaining the ability to shift into human form. Whether or not the story was true, the part where they could change their form to appear human was no myth. Dragons were flawless mimics. They looked human, acted human, sounded human, to the point where it was nearly impossible to tell a dragon from a regular, everyday mortal, even if you knew what to search for. How many dragons existed in the world today was anyone's guess. They had woven seamlessly into human society, masquerading as us, hiding in plain sight. Hidden and cloaked, they strove to enslave humanity, to make humans the lesser species. It was our job to find and kill as many of the monsters as we could, in the hopes that one day we could push their numbers over the brink and firmly into extinction, where they belonged. That was what I'd once believed, until I met her. I've read your report, St. Anthony, Fisher continued. It says you and Sebastian made contact with the suspect and began your investigation. Yes, sir, Tristan agreed. We made contact with Ember Hill, and Garret began establishing a relationship per orders to determine if she was the sleeper. Ember. Her name sent a little pulse through my stomach. Before the events of Crescent Beach, I'd known who I was, a soldier of St. George. My mission was to make contact with the target, determine if it was a dragon, and kill it. Clear-cut, black and white. Simple. Only, it wasn't so simple. The target we'd been sent to destroy turned out to be a girl. A cheerful, daring, funny, beautiful girl. A girl who loved to surf, who taught me how to surf, who challenged me, made me laugh, and surprised me every time I was with her.